let's goldfish the bad guys. The bad guys are a team whose archetype centers around keeping their tenacity total as low as possible, specifically 2 or less. All of their abilities and cards rely on this fact, which in reality makes them have very minimal defenses on their opponent's turn, but have really good effects on their cards during their turn. So they're kind of like a, I'm bringing myself down, so I'm going to bring you down sort of vibe. We are playing with Ayla, Besh, and Frosk. These are only half of the bad guys, so we'll see the other half of the bad guys in a different Goldfish play video. So we've got Ayla, who reduces our ally Tenacity cards, and then gives herself more attack. Besh, who is able to play Curse-specific enhancement cards from our discard pile. And Frosk, who has kind of a multi-use ability. I'm going to bring this up because he's a little bit more crazy than the others. He's got 2 different abilities. While your tenacity total is 2 or less, he gets +2 attack, which is incredibly good. And if your tenacity total is 3 or more, after you play a card, discard 1 face-up ally tenacity card and you draw 1 card. So he allows us to stay low on our tenacity and allows us to draw cards. I actually think he has some cards that are a problem. So for us, goldfishing means we are just going to play out a few rounds or hands for these characters, and we're just going to make some assumptions on what our opponent does just to kind of get a vibe of how everything feels. And this will also give us a really good indication of some cards that might not fit the archetype, things we can't really use during our turns or our opponent's turn, or we don't want to use. Or we can figure out some cards that are potentially over-tuned a little bit. So I've shuffled our deck. I've got our armory cards here off to the side, which I'll let you know what they do when they come into play. But overall, this is going to be kind of a quick, snappy, see what things do. I won't go over every card, but I'll go over the cards that we play and why we play them. So let's get started. First, we need to choose our active hero. I'm going to start with Ayla, I think. Ayla allows us to discard a lot or wants our tenacity total to be low so she can get her effects off, so we can play cards and then kind of get her ready for that. She also has a lot of good affinities to reduce red cards. So I am going to draw up to her hand size. That's 4. Then I'm going to say we're going to go first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our stamina over here. We get 5 cards in our stamina, basically 5 cards we won't get to see for a little bit. And we're going to get 1 card into our tenacity, which is Counterspell. It's just a 2-cost defense card, so we don't need that. It's pretty good that it's there. And it's a 2-cost, so we are nowhere below. Ayla's ability is active during all points of the turn, which is allied tenacity cards get -1 cost. So this is a 1-cost card in our tenacity. Okay, so looking at her hand, I know I want to start with Oaken Path because we're at the beginning of the game, and this allows us to discard cards from our tenacity to help pay for cards. And since we discard cards to play cards, Oaken Path essentially allows us to gain extra value off of cards in our tenacity. I have a defense card, which I'll use to play other cards. I have an attack, and I have Mind Maze. So easiest thing to do, Mind Maze says draw 2 cards. That seems pretty good the more I play it. It goes into our tenacity, and it has a special ability, Fragile. We cannot use this card to parry, which means we can't flip it face down during defensive parts of the turn. And it gives, while in our tenacity, it gives all allied tenacity cards -1 cost. So this is a -1, and this is a 0 now. So it's really, really low. We don't have much defensive possibilities. Okay, we got some curses, so I think we're going to want some help to play with those. We also want to get those into our discard pile for Besh because he can play them from our discard pile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by playing Oaken Path. This costs 3. I'm going to use our defensive card. I'm going to use a high cost enhancement. And then I'm going to get rid of, I guess, another enhancement. I don't see why not. To play Oaken Path. Great. So Oaken Path now allows us as an action or as a defense, we can activate its ability to discard cards from our tenacity to help pay for cards. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, so right now our tenacity total is 2 or less. So if I attack with Ayla using a basic attack, we can hit for 4 damage because while we have a 2 or less tenacity total, she gets +1 attack. So we, boom, hit for 4, maybe get a hit in, maybe take a tenacity card out. Then we can activate Oaken Path and discard cards from our tenacity. I'm going to discard Mind Maze because it's quite small, and we're now about to go into our other opponent's turn, or our opponent's turn, and we want to make sure this counterspell is available to use for parrying. So we want to get rid of this minus. Oh, we can't parry. Oh, we can discard it. Sorry, yeah. So we're going to discard this to Oaken Path. Then we generate 1 energy, 1 resource, and we're going to play Blood Rot Bark. Jeez, there we go. We're going to deal 3 damage to an enemy. Then we're going to discard up to 1 face-up ally tenacity card. This attack deals additional damage equal to the top card of our discard pile. So we could discard the counterspell, but because we're going to go into our opponent's turn, I kind of want to keep this up. We could get another 2 damage out of this because we would discard it and then we would have a 2 on top of our discard pile, but I don't think I want to do that. I just want to, boom, hit for 3 and put this into our tenacity. And now we have a tenacity total of 3, which is generally very bad. But when our opponent attacks us, we'll be able to parry and use these. So I'm going to rest Ayla, and I'm going to bring out Frosk, because Besh is very much a late game character, so we don't really get too much off of him yet. So I'm going to bring out Frosk. I'm going to draw up to his hand size, which is 4, and then I'm going to ready all of my enhancements. Let's assume our opponent attacks 2 times, and they play something like an enhancement on their turn. So when they attack us, I would go ahead and use the counter spell to block a 4 damage attack. And then I have another defense in hand, but I don't think I want to play that. I think we'll take the second attack, reveal it. It's an empty palm, which is perfect because of its affinity, which we'll go over in a second. So we'll reveal this to our opponent, add it to our hand, and now we can play more cards during our turn. So the opponent will pass it to us, and now it's our turn. We have a tenacity total of 1. We have Oaken Path in case we want to discard only any face-up ally cards, so we can't discard this for Oaken Path. I have Empty Palm here, which is absolutely bananas. I think once again I'm going to use my enhancements and defense cards as ways to discard cards to play other cards. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to start by playing Great Oak Heart. I can discard 1 ally face-up ally tenacity card and give this -2 cost, so it's a free 4 damage. So I'm going to hit for 4, and this will go into our tenacity, which is pretty insane. Then I want to play Empty Palm, which will draw us cards because affinity, which means if our hero has an active hero has the same color as this card, and our tenacity total is 2 or less, which it is, we can draw 3 cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Empty Palm, and I'm going to, how do I want to do this? I'm going to play Empty Palm. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to play it. I'm going to then activate, I think we'll just discard all these. I don't think I need any of these. I'm going to discard all 3 of these to spend 3 for Empty Palm, and we're going to deal 3 damage to our opponent, which is not much. It's the bare minimum, actually. Then Affinity, if your tenacity total is 2 or less, which it is, we're going to draw 3 cards. We're churning through our deck. Then this will go into our tenacity. Frosk says, if your tenacity total is 3 or more, after you play a card, discard 1 face-up ally tenacity card. I'm going to discard Empty Palm to draw 1 card. So we've essentially reloaded our entire hand. Oh gosh, that's kind of nuts. That is like we're taking a second turn. Holy Lord, and we could do it again. Well, I guess let's see if we do it again, right? No, we can I think go a little bit further. I'm gonna swing with Frosk. His ability is active where we have a tenacity total of 2 or less, and we have +2 attacks, so we're gonna hit for 4. Then I'm gonna play Infinity Fist, which says if our tenacity total is 2 or less, we get -2 cost. And I'm gonna prepare our active hero, and this will go into our tenacity. Our tenacity total is then 3 or more, so I'm going to discard Infinity Fist. I'm gonna swing for 4 again, because we have a tenacity total of 2 or less. Oh my gosh, sounds like a broken record. Then I'm gonna activate Oaken Path, and I'm going to discard a face-up ally tenacity card to help pay for an Empty Palm. I'm going to discard these 2 for a total of 3 cards, and I'm going to deal 3 damage to our opponent. If our tenacity total is 2 or less, and we have affinity, we get to draw 3 cards. Then go into Empty Palm. Empty Palm comes into play again, and we can activate Frosk because we have a tenacity total of 3 or more to discard a card, face-up card, to draw a card. Oh my god! And then we just got a 3rd turn. Okay, something's broken. I think I know what it is. Great. So we get essentially a 3rd round of 4 cards in our hand. So what I would do then is we actually can't do much here because we have defense cards and we have an attack card that is actually unplayable because we can't spend 4 resources to play it. I guess we could play Great Oak Heart for full cost, and we can discard Sluggish and Maze's End. Because we can play Barkskin on our following turn if we keep it in our hand. We're going to deal 4 damage to our enemy, boom, and then we are going to rest Frosk, and we're going to keep this card, this Barkskin, in our hand. And then I'm going to draw up to 6, so 3, 4, 5, and then the card in my hand makes 6. I'm going to ready my Oaken Path, and then we are going to say our opponent goes. That was an absurd turn that I just realized. We did, I think, upwards of 5 or 6 attacks, and we drew cards. So we're basically at 1 card left in deck. We are essentially at 1 card left in deck. We are at 1 card left in deck. We have a 2 in our tenacity, which we'll definitely use to parry. We've got a incredibly good defense card, so we can block 3, we can block 2. So even if our opponent attacks 3 times, let's say they do that, we're gonna Bark Skin to prevent 3, we're gonna parry with Oak Heart by flipping it face down to prevent 2 damage from 4 attack, and then let's say they hit us again, we would reveal an Abyssal Crush and put it into hand. Wow. And then we take a 6 card hand with Besh. Huh. And then we have Mind Maze, so we can, on our turn, we can Mind Maze, draw 2. Oh no. We would shuffle our deck because we have to recycle, because we have to do something when our deck is empty. And then we would draw the second card. And then because we recycled our deck, we have to reveal a stamina, take a hit for Abyssal Crush, and put it into our hand. Oh my gosh. And then we have a 8 card hand to do whatever we want with within the first rotation. Okay. I think we're going to stop there because I think we ran into a problem. So the cards that are a problem are all the quote unquote free cards. And that, luckily for us, or me, I guess, are all the cards that are related to Frosk. So these cards right here, Empty Palm, draw 3. Abyssal Crush, discard this for a free active here. We didn't actually see this one, so maybe this one isn't a problem yet. Infinity Fist, if your tenacity total is 2 or less, -2 cost, prepare your active hero. That's absurd. Mind Maze, draw 2 cards. It's just Pot of Greed. It's just Pot of Greed. While under tenacity, allied tenacity cards get -1 cost. Which is a good thing for this deck. That is a good thing. If this drew 1 card, I think probably be good. But these cards are a problem. Frost being able to, and I think his ability as well, right? If your tenacity total is 3 or more, after you play a card, discard 1 face-up allied tenacity card. Realistically, this should be like when you play a card, not after you play a card, because after you play a card, you can do it. Or these have to be like once per turn, basically. That's absurd, because this allowed us to essentially do whatever we wanted every time we played something. And that's not okay. This was not okay. Frosk's turn was not okay. It's not what this game is about. It was way too many things. Ayla's turn was a very good representation of using the abilities and effects of things that we play. But I think the amount of draw that Frosk has is a problem, and I don't think that's okay. So we might have to figure out something else to do with this ability. I think you discard it and then something, but I think we've gotten a pretty clear idea of these 3, and I think Frosk is an issue. Frosk is definitely an issue. So that is Goldfishing, some pretty cursed frogs and acorns. I hope that this gave you a really good idea of how the bad guys are meant to play a little bit. Obviously, Frosk is broken. I think in playtesting, we didn't have anything crazy like that happen, but playing it out now, immediately I felt a problem. I don't know how. Maybe I don't think I was able to chain Mind Mazes into Infinity Fists, or Empty Palms, excuse me, as well as I did this time. Like, I don't think I've ever had that happen. But even if that was like a 10% or 5% or 2% chance of that happening, that was not okay. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to figure out what the heck is going on in this game, because it is very enlightening, and I really love to do these. They're really great for playtesting, quote unquote playtesting, and also like a vibe check on the cards. So wherever you are, whenever you are in the world, have a happy day, night, morning, weekend, hump day, Friday, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I hope to see you in whatever the next video is. So see ya.